Orchinistas, fellow orchid lovers and enthusiasts just like I am. Welcome to the channel Forever Orchids. My name is Tracy, and I'm so glad you decided to join me. I recently entered my plants into a orchid show, and I thought I would share with you what happened. um, so let's start with this plant here. This is Cattleya Mahalo Jack, and I have given this the clonal name. Excuse me, I apologize. It has not been cloned. It's not a clonal name. I've given it a cultivar name of Forever. Okay, and it has new growth here, and it bloomed. And what you'll see here is a little tag that at the show, this is put in it, and it has a little number down here. And this is the number that was assigned to this particular plant. And then this plant would have been entered into various classes, and that's what they call them, classes, in with the American Orchid Society when you were doing ribbon judging. So this particular plant did not win an award, but I wanted to show this to you because this would have been in one of the hauls that I did recently from SVO. And I will link at the end of this video that particular haul. This is Mahalo Jack is Walkeriana crossed with SL Orchidii. And I think it's just a phenomenal color. It does have a really interesting fragrance. I wouldn't say that it is sweet. It's a little musty, maybe, is what I would call it. Now, I have some Walkerianas in crosses, but I also do have a Walkeriana in my collection. It's a seedling, and I have personally never smelled a Walkeriana. So I don't know if this is typical for that particular smell, or if this is coming from the Orchidii. I'm not sure. But it has a fragrance. It's just not sweet like a rose or jasmine that you typically will hear about Cattleyas. But I wanted to show you this one first to kind of show you how in an orchid show, and I have done several videos where I have visited orchid shows and shown you throughout the displays, and this is how they label their plants. All right, I'm going to set this one aside. And in the video that was probably, maybe prior to this one here, we talked about the apple blossom. I had done a orchid haul a little over a month ago, and I had a surprise in that orchid haul that both plants of Jackfowleria Appleblossom were in bud. And so I have a video where I've talked about both of those. This is the most recent one that was entered in a show, and I'm not going to talk a whole lot about that one in this video, but it did win 2 ribbons. It won second place in its class that it was entered into for Cattleyas and Guaranthes that were in the white semi-alba and under 4-inch size flowers. It was entered in that class and it won second place. And then, unbeknown to me, it was also entered in fragrance and it won second place in fragrance. And in the video that I spotlight these 2 orchids, the update from the haul, we talk more about that, and I also show you the plant that won first place for fragrance. So please make sure you go check out that video. All right, so we're going to set that one aside. And then this one here is a no-named hybrid of a Phalaenopsis that I got recently in bloom. I got it basically for the speckling of the leaves here. Let's see if I can show that to you here. Let's see if we can get the camera to focus in on some of that speckles there. See that there? Just gives a little bit of interest to the plant when it's not in bud. Now, this one in particular has gone to 2 shows, And the first show it went to, it was in a display, and it did not get any type of award. This recent show that I entered it into with another society, it got a second place ribbon. And I'm going to pull out here. This is the what they call the show schedule. This tells you all the different classes that a plant can be put into, and whether it be a dendrobium or masdevallias and draculas or cadleias, oncidiums, it breaks it down. So this one was entered in class 52. Class 52 is Phalaenopsis hybrids listed as multiflora white with or without markings. So in my mind, it could have been mislabeled, misclassed. It is definitely not white. And so the judges could have caught that maybe. But it should have been in probably, I would think, 55, Phalaenopsis hybrids multifloral pink with or without markings, and definitely not in white. So it's possible it was marked, the class was marked wrong on the back of the tag. But anyway, it is one of my plants, and it did get second place. And I really wish I knew the actual name of this particular plant because it's really, really nice. I love the little striations on it, but the reason why I bought it was for the lip. I just thought that was so pretty. So let me get you zoomed in there so you can see that lip there. Hopefully the camera is focusing on those flowers for you and not focusing on me in the background. And you can see that lip that I just think is really, really attractive. So there we go for that one. Okay. And then I actually had two plants, exactly the same plant. This is Phalaenopsis Sogo Allen, and the clonal name on it is Sweetheart. And it's just a little stripe, yellow. It starts off yellow, and then as the flowers are older, they start to fade to more of a cream color. And I had two of these, and in their category, which was class 60, actually 60.1, Phalaenopsis hybrids novelty other colors with or without markings. I really don't know why it was put that way, because they do have a class that is yellow-green with or without markings. They also have a class that's multifloral yellow-green with or without markings. So I really am not sure when the plant was registered why it was placed in the class that it was in. To me, it's clearly yellow. Anyway, like I said, I had two of these plants, and one of them won first place and the other one won second place. And what I did with the other plant that actually won first place was I gave it to one of the youngest members of that orchid society. I definitely want to encourage younger generations, younger than me, to get involved in the hobby of growing orchids. And this young lady is probably high school, freshman college age, and most of the Phalaenopsis that she had no names on them. So this would have been her first one that she actually would have known the name of it. And so this one will need to repot. I have obviously not had time to repot it, and I have let this root just keep growing and growing and growing. So I will have to soak this root, soak the roots that are coming out of the plant, and I'll be able to wrap them into a larger pot when it comes time to repot this when it is done blooming. But I was just tickled to death with, the it's just fun. It's just part of the hobby. It's just part of growing orchids. You can grow them and enjoy the flowers in your home. If you want to take it maybe to a little bit of the next level, then join a local orchid society around you and get involved with that society. Get your plants blooming and put them in the show. And it's just fun that the AOS judges can look at your plants, and you just get little ribbons for them. You know, that's a little fun. It helps you also determine whether or not you are growing the plant well. You can get some feedback as well. So I just encourage you to join one of your local orchid societies. Okay, now the next plant that I took in, this plant was actually in the last haul that I did from the orchid show that I went to in the mountains, in the Blue Ridge Mountains of North Carolina in Asheville. I picked up this plant. It was in bud. It's in that haul video. Well, it literally bloomed about a day before this particular show started. So I was able to get it into the show and get it registered. And this is the Zygonisia. Let's see if I can get this off here. This is Zygonisia Cynosure bluebirds. This does have an award from the American Orchid Society. I believe it's an AM. Let's make sure I get all these plants out of the way so you can get a good look at this one here. It is absolutely stunning. So hopefully the camera will focus on these blooms and not on me. And just look at those. OMG. It had 2 flower spikes coming off of a new growth, and that's just the nature of this. Now, this plant was entered into class 106, which is in the Miscellaneous genre, which includes your Cymbidiums, Lycaste, Maxillarias, Catasetums, Zygopetalums, Bulbophyllums. I was surprised that is in the Miscellaneous. And just orchid species or orchid hybrids that happen to not be covered elsewhere. All of that is included in what they call the Miscellaneous genre. And I am going to do a separate video because I want to explain further why not only did this plant win a blue ribbon and won first place in the Zygopetalum and allied genre species hybrids and intergenerics. It won first place. And then in Miscellaneous, between the Cymbidiums, and there was a Cymbidium there was multiple Bulbophyllums that were there. There were no Catasetums, Cenotes, or Myrmodes at this particular show. Those would not have been in bloom at this time. They're just now waking up, getting ready to start their growth season, so they're not in bloom. Maxillaria, there was a Maxillaria there. And so what I did is I went around and videoed all the other plants that this plant was up against. So it won first place in class 106 for Zygopetalums. But then it won a trophy. It won best of class. Look at that purple ribbon with the purple of the Zygopetalum. It won best of class for Miscellaneous. And throughout the show, there was a judge there, and I kept asking him and, trying to understand why this one won the best of class of all of the orchids that were there classified as Miscellaneous. I'm going to do a separate video on that so that I can show you all the other orchids that were its competition, and I can kind of tell you what I was told by a judge as to why this one was picked to win a trophy. So I was just really excited when I found that. I did not expect to win this at all. When you get a trophy award, a lot of times that means there's a monetary award that it is the hold on. Anyway, a best of class award can win you monetary, and we'll talk about that. I can't get my words right now. So we will talk about that in the next video. So I just wanted to come on really quickly and show you my plants that I have been growing in my environment, that I recently entered into a show, and just what happened at that show in regards to my plants. So I hope you enjoy this little video here. Please like and subscribe if you wish. I will keep you updated on my plants. I have been growing orchids for close to 30 years, and currently in my collection, I am up to, I haven't counted, I'm kind of scared to count, but I would guess I am probably at 165 to 170 plants that I grow indoors, uh, in southern windows, east windows, and under grow lights, and just starting to put a few of them outside for the summer. So until next time, guys, happy orchid growing.